all you amazing healers. So, today's topic is all about clearing up your fears to creating wealth and abundance. And fears show up in a lot of ways. So, today I'm going to focus on fear of growth and success and why people could fear that and how to release that fear. Okay, stay tuned to hear more. This is Anastasia. I used to be a physics professor specializing in vibrational and quantum physics. After recovering from a serious illness using energy healing on myself, the calling to heal became so strong that I had to quit my 40-year research career. I replaced my 6-figure professor salary within 5 months using a simple but not easy 3-step system that I worked out to grow my healing practice. Now I help other healers grow their practices, whether they're just starting or already have a practice, with this same 3-step system. I'm all about helping you too. Listen in to learn more. I'm so glad you're back today, and today's topic is all about fear and fear as a wealth block or an abundance block or a way to bring more success into your life, right? So most of us want to achieve success of some sort. When you were really little and you were just starting to crawl, or you're just starting to walk, or just starting to speak, our efforts were all on becoming successful on these basic skills, right? Well, you are still that little bitty person that is striving for success. And somewhere along the way, we got the idea in our head that there's something wrong with success. Other people try to tear you down. There's this notion that success means a lot more responsibility and things like that. So fears can show up in a lot of ways. Fear of change, which is also part of your fear of success, fear of rejection, fear of numbers, fear of scarcity, fear of growth, and fear of responsibilities. So as you can hear in all of those various fears, fear of success is complex, right? Because if you become successful, let's not put it if, when you become successful, there is going to be a change. And that change is basically the fear of the unknown. And then there's the fear of losing those around you, right? Because people that are around you, when you change, then the perception is you don't like them anymore, or they won't like you anymore, right? And people that truly love you it won't matter to them. What will matter to them is your happiness, right? So when I was more successful, for example, my parents cheered me on, my siblings cheered me on, my spouse cheered me on, and now my children cheer me on. They are both adults in their 30s. So you can see that the people that matter in your life will cheer you on and won't tear you down. And I'm lucky because I have a big fat Greek family that is highly supportive of one another. There are other families, like if one sibling sees another and becomes jealous, for example, then they'll try to tear you down or say bad things. And I've seen that to you. Negative things to you to tear you down and criticize you. And when that happens, that means that they don't have your best interests at heart, right? So what I'm saying basically is that the people that really matter, that are on your side, will be supportive of you. And so that's that fear of rejection coming in because of your fear of success. So all of these thoughts and concepts create a wall between you and what you want. Even though you say you might want to be successful, being successful is a whole different thing, and you think that your life will change. For example, you might have the idea that when you become rich, or when you have a lot more money, people will demand of you, right? You may have seen lottery winners where a lot of people get letters saying, please send me money, and relatives will crawl out of the woodwork. You trust me, success like that is not it, it's energetically way off. The success that you want is you work it in little steps. For example, when you're in school, for example, and you work really hard in a class and you get a good grade, right? There will be people that tear you down and become jealous because you start to stand out. But then there will be also people that admire you and want to copy your success, right? And that you become then an inspiration. So wouldn't you rather be an inspiration rather than buddies with somebody who is wanting to tear you down, right? So that those fears can really grind on you. So let's talk about accessing those fears. The easiest way to access them is to either meditate or journal on them, or get into an altered state, listen to a guided meditation that will help guide you to those fears. And most of the time, these fears started developing when we were very young, right? You may have gone outside and played with somebody and they rejected you, and your little mind interpreted that rejection as something that wasn't that great for you, right? And then it says, oh, I can't be successful. I can't be better than the other people because they will reject me. And so then that kind of litany starts running around in your head. And it's really good to get in touch with it. I like active imagination dialoguing. Active imagination dialoguing is something that was started by Carl Jung, the contemporary of Freud, who said that you can journal with various parts of you, have conversations with various parts of you. So one of the things that you can do is sit down and ask your fears why they're there. Like, hello, I would say, hello, this is Anastasia. Who am I speaking to? And my journaling, the subconscious journaling, will help guide that information down from in me onto the paper. And I'll ask, my fear of success, where does that come from? And you'll start writing, and you just let that writing flow freely, and you'll be surprised at some of the answers. I've done this many times, and sometimes I'll ask my subconscious, well, what's mine to do? And I'll be having a conversation with God, right? Whatever that is. And I'll be having a conversation and I'll say, God, what is mine to do next? And it says, I've told you many times before, you need to teach more. And so I was kind of born a teacher, so that's why I'm doing this, right? And the answers that come out, I was kind of surprised. It says, well, I've told you already. And so you can get really surprised at what some of those answers are and how they come back. And they don't have to come back in a serious way. It could be humorous too, because spirit is living in joy, right? And being joyful is having fun. And so some people ask me, so why are you making fun of healing? And I said, because joy is a high expression and high frequency of human existence, and being joyful is a way to get healthier, right? So let's have some fun while you journal about your fears. And when you journal about the fears, it takes that heaviness out of them, because you will start to discover what that thing that's hiding in your subconscious, it's hiding there behind a rock, not wanting to come out and be discovered. And as soon as you bring light to it, it is easier to release. So You may have observed your parents fighting. You may have been criticized for doing better than other people. You may have had a teacher expect more out of you and then get criticized for it. So there's a lot of things that may have happened. So whatever it is, start meditating or journaling about what that fear of success is all about. And it could have been you were afraid of the dark because that's the unknown, right? You're afraid of moving past where everybody else is. You are afraid of all the added responsibility. You're afraid that you won't be able to live up to that success, right? There's so many things. So just get all those down, right? And so now the next step is clearing that fear. Now that you've set it all down on paper, right, you're going to be clearing that fear. And have that fear right here in your mind, or have it here in front of you, that picture of what helped create the fear. And realize that this is a perception, it is not reality. You were designed to be successful. Remember that little child that strove to get better at speaking, get better at walking, get better at running, right? Those things are built in you. It's built in all of us. It's in our DNA. And we're going to release the barrier that is keeping you from that success. And so the first thing to do is expand yourself up to spirit, right? So you're going to get up close to spirit, because spirit is where all the healing is, and is where your original human design, that successful design, is sitting. And it includes all the places where you are afraid that you cannot have it and cannot achieve it, because you are infinitely powerful. I want you to remember that, right? And so now you're going to imagine that image of what created that fear, or what some of the fears are, those images of where it is helping you get stuck or causing you to get stuck. We're just releasing them down your grounding cord, and you're going to let them go, because all of these fears and all of these images have outlived their usefulness. And you're imagining then the light coming from above and washing this all through you and releasing it. And then you tell your body that this is new programming, and your old programming is now obsolete. So here are some typical fear concepts to release. You're afraid of what your future might look like. What changes are you avoiding? Like, I tend to embrace change because I kind of like trying on new things, but yet I still like to hang on to my old things because they're kind of comfortable. It's like your old favorite sweatshirt or your old favorite t-shirt. You wear it until it's threadbare because you don't want to let it go. But it's also nice to go on and put on that new shirt. You're afraid of not knowing how to handle the responsibility of a more abundant situation, because more wealth means more responsibility. You're afraid of abandonment, so you hang on to the old instead of welcoming the new. Fear of rejection. If you have a lot of pain in your lower back, that may be your fear of rejection. And if you ask for something of someone and they will say no, so you don't ask. If you create something, no one will like it. So you stay small and do what's expected and what's traditional, right? And you fear of asking for too much. Let's say you put yourself out there as a healer, and then somebody says, well, what do you charge? And or I get this question often, what do you charge for a session? And I say, well, let's not talk about sessions. Let's talk about what it is you desire and what it will take to get you there, right? So when they ask you what you charge for a session, and you well, say something that you think they'll want to hear, like $50. But on the other hand, they will not receive the energy or the value from you if you do not request the true value from them, because there's a balance of energy in the universe. So then you also have the fear of the other's perception once you basically, put your stake in the ground and say, this is mine. And you have a fear of scarcity, so you hang on to everything far too tightly. Like, you hoard things. And like when I didn't have very much money, like I went through a period of time when I was getting divorced, I didn't have very much money, and I would always, hope I would make it to the end of the month and still have, I was living in Germany, still have a mark left in there and not have to dip into my non-existent savings. So I would hold on to things, and I kept the same clothes for a lot of years because I didn't change size, but my kids were growing. So I spent all my money on them. And of course, that's the wrong thinking, because you need to treat yourself really well, like you would treat others, right? And so once that happens, once you start hanging on to everything too tightly, you block the flow, because flow is things leaving and then you make room for new things coming in. And then fear of success, you're not living other people's desires for you, therefore they'll reject you for that. And for example, if they're jealous, or if they're always trying to tell you what to do, and if you don't follow their instructions, then they'll reject you. And I taught my daughter a little lesson like that. She loved stickers when she was a little girl, and the kids would bring like a little folder full of stickers. They had sticker books, and she'd have these beautiful stickers from all over the world, because my ex-husband and I traveled, and we'd bring home these like really beautiful unicorn and rainbow stickers and fairy stickers, things that little girls like, all pink and purple. And she'd have the best stickers out of everybody. And then sometimes I'd open her notebook up, and I said to her, "Why are all your great stickers gone and you have these little ugly ones in place?" And she says, "Well, my friends want them and I'm afraid to say no." And I say, "Just tell them no, see what happens. Just tell one of them no once, see what happens." And so she told them no the next time. She was really scared. Her heart was beating. She was about 8 or so. And she told them no. And I said, "What happened when you said no?" They said, "Okay." And then they went on playing. So you see that people accept you putting your foot down. Is just that a lot of us fear being rejected because of that. They fear being rejected because you are the one that's changing. Okay, so to summarize, I showed you how fear could show up, typical fear concepts to release, how to access those fears, and how to clear those fears. And I hope that will help you become more abundant and wealthier and healthier. All right, I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for taking valuable time out of your day to listen in. If you found this message helpful, please help spread the word by giving the broadcast a thumbs up or a 5-star rating. Share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe to my channel with your notifications on. For further training on healing and growing your healing business using my 3-step system, go to www.highpaidhealers.com. And I'll see you in the next video.